You know those mistakes that stick like gum in hair? You know, like the ones that people just cannot unsee. That's called negativity bias, and that's our brain's factory setting to remember the bad stuff with surround sound while the good gets muted like your ex's Instagram stories. It doesn't just apply to products, but to politicians who seem genuinely shocked when we don't just get over it already. You remember Samsung Note 7? Gorgeous smartphone with everything going for it until it started to spontaneously combust in people's pockets. It's like that psycho Tinder date that ends with your car on fire. For years after the recall, people still flinched at the word note like it was an STI diagnosis. Once trust burns, it leaves a scar that even the best PR concealer cannot conceal. But let's shift to politics right now because the best and most recent example of negativity bias just happened a couple weeks ago. And in politics, the stakes are higher and the marketing teams are way worse. Anyone remember this? Back in 2022, Scott Morrison's government proudly launched the Women's Network with a logo that looked like, I mean, this is not a maybe if you squint moment. We are talking a full-on, you know what I'm saying. This ultimately became a symbol of a government that was so out of touch, they couldn't even recognize a phallus when they designed one. But it wasn't just about the logo. There were botched handlings of essay allegations, the I needed to ask my wife comment, religious discrimination bills that somehow alienated everyone, and let's not forget the COVID vaccine rollout. Remember, it's not a race, yet somehow it became a race anyway. By the 2022 election, women and the younger Australians were just absolutely done with the Liberal Party. And they lost power, trust, and safe seats to independents who actually read the room. Fast forward to 2025, and it's a new leader, yet it's the same story with much less smirking, a bit more baldness, and more scowling. Dutton tried to run on a tough on everything campaign. He'd welcomed the leader of Israel after the Gaza conflict like an old drinking buddy, wanting to slash public service jobs with the enthusiasm of a kid with safety scissors, all well wrapped in a special government efficiency spin. I saw through this like cheap toilet paper. Not a reset. This was just ScoMo 2.0 with a grimmer and maybe more orange filter and much less charm. And when we returned to the polls, we rejected the entire Liberal brand. It was a brand that we couldn't forget, we wouldn't forgive, and no matter how many stern expressions they tried to make. Because in politics, just like marketing, you don't get to rebrand without rebuilding trust. And when all people remember is fire and phallic logos, you already lost the election before the first ballot was even cast. Negativity bias, it doesn't fade, it festers. It's like that questionable takeout on the back of your fridge. It just gets worse with time.